Holy Mother of God.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the TV shows and seasons that seemed exciting and fresh until they actually aired.
We were hoping you would drop in on the celebration, Charlie.
Not today, angels, but no, I'm always a phone call away.
Number 20, Gotham Knights. Taking a franchise in an entirely new direction is risky. Fans have certain expectations and can get angry when a piece of media strays from them.
Harvey. Turner. It's your father. So sorry, I don't even know how to tell you this.
Gotham Knights was intended to be a fresh take on the DC universe, one that exists in a world where Batman has been killed. Initially, people were excited to see how the twist would be handled. Unfortunately, the new characters' edgy personalities made it hard to connect with them, as they ended up as caricatures of anti-heroes.
Hey there, Harv. Remember me?
Additionally, the darker plot came across more as fan fiction than a genuine exploration of a post-Batman world. While the potential was undeniable, many felt the concept was better handled in video game form. Number 19, The Muppets. For decades, these puppets were considered a family act. However, this reboot tried appealing to a more adult audience with The Muppets, a sitcom based around their lives as famous celebrities.
I'm not happy with the janitor knowing what I throw away. Can you have someone put a layer of generic trash over my private trash?
Okay, generic trash.
And the lilacs in my dressing room?
No.
Don't smell lilac-y enough.
While many were looking forward to the modern approach, others weren't quite as excited. Even before it was released, there were complaints of it being inappropriate.
The following inappropriate words need to be deleted from tonight's script. Crotchety, twiddle, and gesticulate.
When it aired, there was a mixed response, with most of the criticism coming from concerned parents. They felt it was too mature for children, with moments like the Muppets drinking alcohol being cited as particularly problematic.
Welcome to the morning meeting, everybody. Or should I say the whenever you decide to show up meeting.
Beyond the complaints, the show also struggled to find a core fan base, which led to it being canceled after just one season. Number 18, St. George. One experience that was common among younger Americans of a certain age was enjoying the George Lopez show.
You want me to wear a tie to an airplane parts factory? Yeah, that'll work. You see, the problem with the propeller is...
Not only did this sitcom solidify his legacy for a generation, it also helped his popularity live on even after the show ended. When it was announced he'd be returning to cable with St. George, excitement was high. However, it ended up having little of the charm of his breakout role.
What do I want all kinds of kids for? To help you move, to help you do the yard work, to answer the door, to get you a cigarette.
The new characters were mostly one note, which made it harder to care about them. The show also attempted to appeal to adults with mature jokes, but went too far, and ended up coming across as crass instead.
Hey, I thought we settled this. Harper is my son.
Okay, estúpido. Prove it!
It was canned after 10 episodes, and fans were left disappointed that their TV dad went out this way. Number 17, Joanie Loves Chachi. Happy Days was so successful that it spawned multiple spin-offs, some more successful than others.
Saturday's the biggest day of our lives.
Saturday? This Saturday?
Joanie Loves Chachi was one that unfortunately didn't resonate with the public. It was based around the couple attempting to start their music career. While they were popular characters, they quickly proved why not every beloved character deserves their own show. They seemed to lack their original chemistry, and the inclusion of musical performances every episode came across as a way to pad the runtime. While the show seemingly had everything it needed to succeed, it just couldn't connect with audiences. After it was canceled, the couple returned to Happy Days, proving that they never needed to leave in the first place.
You know something, Joanie? You're 100% right. I'm gonna go home so we can each think about this, all right?
Good.
Okay.
Good. Because there's a lot more involved here besides the physical attraction.
Number 16, Bionic Woman. Rebooting a beloved TV series is a huge risk to take, but this show almost pulled it off.
What have you done to me?
Jamie,
Why did you do this to me?
you were going to die.
After a genuinely impressive premiere, viewers were excited to see where Bionic Woman would go from there. However, the rest of the season made people question if they were watching the same program.
Don't make a liar out of me.
Complaints range from the way the fight scenes were choreographed to the dark tone, which was a stark change from the original. There were even debates around the casting of the protagonist. While it showcased plenty of potential right up front, by the end of the season, that energy had completely petered out. It was a shame, as past supporters were excited to see a modern version of a classic hero.
Maybe we could do this again sometime. What?
Number 15, Halo. Video game adaptations are becoming more popular thanks to the success of shows like The Last of Us. When it was announced that Halo will be adapted into a long-form show, there was mass enthusiasm.
Identification.
Master Chief Petty Officer John 117.
Fans had waited for years to see their favorite characters brought to a wider audience. However, they were watching like hawks to find any discrepancies from the original game. When it aired, critics came out of the woodwork. They felt that the show strayed too far from canon and questioned why they even bothered using an existing IP. It's too different for current fans and not engaging enough to bring new ones in. Despite it being renewed for a second season, many have already sworn it off.
Goodbye, John.
Number 14, Hank. Kelsey Grammer is an icon of the small screen, so people were rightfully excited when a new sitcom starring the Cheers and Frasier alumnus was announced by ABC. Sadly, Hank was not even good enough to be called a poor man's Frasier.
But don't feel sorry for Hank Pryor. Never feel sorry for Hank Pryor.
Grammer is a business executive who was let go from his CEO job and moves his family from New York to Virginia.
But I am not doing this on my own. I can't. I know it may not seem like it, but I am freaking out here.
No, I got that.
Obviously, hijinks ensue. 10 episodes were shot for this family comedy, but ABC only ended up airing 5 of them. Hank was so unfunny, Grammer himself asked the network to drop the series.
Oh, you should have seen their faces, Till. It killed them to fire me.
Bastards.
Number 13, and just like that, it's hard enough to capture lightning in a bottle once, let alone twice.
I just think the gray ages you. No, you think the gray ages you. Because if we're friends and I'm this age, you can't be whatever age you're pretending to be.
Sex and the City has been one of the most popular programs of the new millennium, particularly among female audiences. It's gone through a renaissance in recent years, with new generations enjoying the characters' antics. So when the sequel series was announced, anticipation was high across all age groups.
I mean, we can't just stay who we were, right? Absolutely.
Fans couldn't wait to see what kind of lessons they would be able to impart from experience. Unfortunately, the show couldn't live up to its previous reputation. It's even been called inauthentic, which is a word that would have never been used to describe the original. From the lack of Kim Cattrall to the main cast regression, it's clear it doesn't have the same spark.
Well, at least that's all behind me.
Number 12, Criminal Minds Beyond Borders. If there's one genre with a dedicated fan base, it's crime shows. One of the most popular, Criminal Minds, sets itself apart by focusing on criminals' behavioral patterns. It was a hit, which eventually led to the creation of several spin-offs, including Criminal Minds Beyond Borders.
He attacked Jeff first, the biggest threat.
And he had a compulsive need to brand him like his prey.
With actors like Gary Sinise signing on, it seemed like a sure shot to reach similar levels of popularity. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. Audience couldn't help but notice that the new team had very similar traits to the original, which caused them to seem unoriginal.
I may have let it slip that you're a Yeti believer. I'm sorry, it seemed relevant.
I'm here for comm support.
Beyond all else, it didn't really have the heart of the original, which ultimately led to its failure.
Let's go home.
Yes, please.
Number 11, The Romanoffs. You'd think that after creating a hit like Mad Men, the only way to go would be up. That seemed to be the case for Matt Weiner's next series, The Romanoffs.
Have you ever heard of the Romanoffs?
Of course, the Russian royal family.
It had an interesting concept, focusing on families that believed they were direct descendants of the infamous clan. The cast changing each episode was also an interesting twist. While the premise was undoubtedly ambitious, viewers learned that it couldn't quite stick the landing.
This is all I want, for the line to continue.
The pacing in particular was called out, along with the poor character development. While the idea was great, many felt that it would have been better executed if there were only one plotline. It just goes to show that it doesn't matter how impressive a premise is if the final result falls short.
Princess, Nastarovia.
Number 10, The Idol. On paper, this show also had everything it needed to succeed. From a star-studded cast consisting of accomplished entertainers to Euphoria creator Sam Levinson at the helm, it seemed that The Idol would be an instant success. The dark aesthetic alone was enough to draw people in. Unfortunately, the final product couldn't live up to its glamorous reputation.
I'd bet $1 billion on this mess.
Really?
Even before it aired, people were making fun of clips that had been published to promote it. Many audiences found it boring, even with the gratuitous sexuality. Beyond that, The Weeknd's portrayal of Tedros was unintentionally funny at times, turning supposed dramatic scenes into comedic ones.
Nobody's talking to you.
Were you talking to my people? They're an extension of me.
It may have been swiftly canceled, but it will always live on, thanks to the power of the internet. Number 9, Feed the Beast. Maybe they should have let this one go hungry.
All right, bon appetit.
Clyde Phillips is an accomplished TV writer and producer who contributed to Dexter's early success as its showrunner. In Feed the Beast, he cast David Schwimmer as Tommy Moran, a man with alcohol use disorder who's struggling to launch a restaurant in the Bronx, but whose dream is rendered difficult by criminals and corrupt officials. Good acting and visuals aside, this crime drama was taken to task by critics for an overall bland plot and generally unlikable characters.
How are you and the bottle getting along these days?
Really well, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It was canceled by AMC after just a single 10-episode season.
Oh, thanks for coming to the funeral, by the way.
Number 8. Power Rangers Super Mega Force. While not an entirely new show, the 21st season of this beloved fan fave built on the show's anniversary 20th season and came full circle by featuring older characters.
Hey guys.
Tommy!
You don't have to do it alone this time.
This news was huge with past and present supporters, with many speculating over how the new and old cast would interact. But unfortunately, the acting wasn't great, the story wasn't that impactful, and the writing was lacking, which led many fans to conclude that the concept was pretty much wasted.
Ready, Rangers? Time to create a new legend!
While it could have been an excellent way of connecting multiple generations of Power Rangers audiences, all it did was remind them of what it used to be.
We'll always be with you. Thank you.
Number 7. Iron Fist. Marvel has proven in the past that their television shows can be just as well made as their movies, with Luke Cage and Jessica Jones being considered the cream of the crop. Between that track record and Iron Fist's popularity as a hero, it seemed like his story would be an instant hit. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. Viewers found that it was lacking the excitement and intensity usually found in Marvel's repertoire.
Here for a lesson?
What can $2 get me?
Cup of coffee down the street?
Beyond that, the protagonist was handled differently than he had been in other series, which led to confusion about his portrayal. Fans were disappointed that Netflix dropped the ball.
Seems fair.
Number 6. That 80s Show. A sequel to That 70s Show starring Dennis from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia? Doesn't that sound great? That 80s Show follows Eric Foreman's cousin, Corey Howard, a struggling musician who works at a record shop.
Our tools.
Personal power and growth are tools.
Ah, please, God, no more! Hey, mine.
Despite being created by the same minds responsible for the hit series That 70s Show, this spiritual sequel struggled through its first and only season before Fox gave it the chop.
Jim Morrison is a god.
A god who thought my breasts looked like mushrooms.
While its predecessor used the 70s as a backdrop for its lovable cast, That 80s Show is just a series of heavy-handed references to its decade, creating a mostly laugh-free experience.
How you doing, son?
I got nothing!
Number 5. The Witcher, Blood Origin. With a fanbase as loyal as the one The Witcher has cultivated, it only makes sense that fans would have high expectations for any retelling.
You've not changed.
You have?
After the success of the original series, the studio moved forward with a prequel that would be set over 1,000 years beforehand. Fans were excited to see more world building and the exploration of Zentrea before it was destroyed.
I should have died with my clan.
Me too.
Their hopes were quickly dashed. Not only had the writers not stayed faithful to the source material, they also altered the lore. This made it come across as a marketing tactic for the main show, rather than a genuine continuation of the story. It quickly became one of Netflix's worst reviewed projects, and any eagerness for future adaptations was gone. Number 4. Joey. A massively successful and influential sitcom, Friends, is seemingly set to flourish forever in the form of reruns. With that sort of impact, a spin-off was inevitable, and Matt LeBlanc's Joey was the one to receive the push.
No! Oh, stupid!
Unsurprisingly, removing 5 of the 6 reasons people loved the original series had an adverse effect on the end product. Lasting less than 2 seasons, NBC's spin-off plummeted in ratings during its second year due to airing in the same time slot as Fox's American Idol.
Oh, God. They voted me off the show. Of course they did. I suck.
Joey was unlikely to ever match the high standards set by Friends, but even so, most expected better.
No, Gina, you didn't see me in those auditions. I've lost it. I can't do my job anymore.
Number 3. Velma. Scooby-Doo is one of the most beloved series in American history and has maintained its popularity for several decades. While many spin-offs and movies have been created, one in particular became controversial: Velma.
What?
I'm bored.
Norville, get off my jock and let me solve this mystery.
The bespectacled detective was a fan favorite, which led to an initial wave of excitement for the series. The announcement of Mindy Kaling playing the titular role also piqued viewers' interests. However, that interest quickly faded once episodes started rolling out.
I need a favor. I need you to get me my mom's cold case file.
Why would I do that? We're not friends anymore. We're nemesises.
Nemesis.
That's why.
The show was mostly panned for poor attempts at self-aware humor to a lack of character development. Fans were also unhappy with how much the gang had been flanderized, particularly Fred.
The police need the list to keep hot girls safe.
Oh, so like charity work? Okay. But if this doesn't help restore my public image as a good guy, I'm gonna be pissed.
It could have been a great continuation of the franchise, but the poor execution quickly killed any support for it. Also, where is Scooby? Number 2, Charlie's Angels. Getting a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes is considerably harder than earning a 100, especially for TV shows.
Who are you? You don't look like cops. We're not. We're angels.
If nothing else, the reboot of Charlie's Angels can take pride in having earned membership in an exclusive group. The original 1976 series was hardly a critical darling, but the first 2 seasons found a huge audience.
Wow, she wasn't lying about your mad hacking skills.
Okay, I'm not a big fan of the H word. It's like telling Picasso he's good at throwing paint onto a canvas.
This remake, on the other hand, was criticized for an uninteresting cast, terrible action scenes, and was promptly canceled before airing the season finale. This ill-advised series is basically just a footnote in the franchise's history.
Please tell me she's not really gone.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1, Inhumans. Suddenly, Iron Fist looks pretty good. Based on the comic book property of the same name, Inhumans centers around an inhuman royal family forced to hide out on Earth after a military coup.
What would your parents think of you now? Protecting the family they so detested.
Originally planned as a movie, Marvel Studios tried to have the best of both worlds by screening an IMAX version of the first 2 episodes.
Take me to where you took the others.
Sitting at only 11% on Rotten Tomatoes as of November 2023, Inhumans lacked the budget to do its source material justice. Criticized for a bland story and weak characters, sadly, there is little good to be said about this huge disappointment.
Not much without your hair, huh?
Have you ever been excited for a TV show just for it to fall short of your expectations? Let us know in the comments below.
Look at you. I know, look at me.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.